heading into a very, very important year for the class of 2024. Who are those bats that may change their future forever? Hi there, folks. Alongside Brian Sikowski, the incredible writer and scout for Perfect Game, my name is Darren Sutton, and this is the 2024 class review as we look ahead to the calendar year of 2023. Brian, when you look at 1 through 10, it's incredible because there are some talented pitchers, and you'll have to watch the other segment, folks, to see us talk about those names, but there are a lot of bats. You guys really, in that class of 2024, are thunderstruck up high as it pertains to bats, and this is an exciting class to look at.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And we're, these things go in cycles. So, 2029 down the line might be 7 of the top 10 are pitchers or something like that. These things are cyclical. They can change year to year. But what we're seeing, especially at the big league level, is when it comes to the amateur draft, it's the bats that are pushed up the most, the bats that go off the board first. Pitching becomes a crapshoot in a lot of ways when it comes to evaluating pitchers. So there's a little bit more safety in your evaluations of a high-end bat than an arm in that sense. But and that kind of fits this class's mold. It's bats up top, and it matches what we're seeing with the draft. And some of these guys might have a chance to be stars.
Yeah, you saw the names on the list. Let's go to the first one. I'm biased towards Southern California guys. Growing up out there, and Orange Lutheran, a wonderful program, about 10 minutes as you can throw a baseball from where the Angels play their home games in Southern California. Yet he's a Jay Johnson LSU commit. Derek Curiel is number one. Why?
He just never doesn't rake. There's a lot of other things that go along with it, but that guy, he never seems to have a bad at-bat, let alone a bad game or a bad event or a bad whatever. The consistency of the explosiveness of the offensive profile is one of the big reasons that he's number one. It's a gorgeous left-handed swing. We've seen him hit for power already. He can really loft balls pull side. We've seen him drive balls the opposite way. He uses the whole field. He's a good athlete. He's a really talented defender in center field. He's not this 6'1", 6'2", 60 type of burner, but he is an above-average runner. He gets excellent reads and routes in center field. He's got a good arm. He impacts the game in every way, however many numbers of ways you want to identify, but he's got all 5 tools for the sake of what we're talking about, performs every time out. No way we can move him right now.
It's interesting because we've gotten to know Konnor Griffin as a young man, select festivals, certainly incredible athlete. He's quite popular on social media with all of his peers, those that follow baseball, and it's even gotten beyond that on TikTok. Uses the platform for something very, very positive. And speaking of platforms, it literally looks like he's bouncing on a spring platform when he plays a sport like basketball. This is just a crazy athlete in the 2-spot, Konnor Griffin, who, by the way, could pitch if you need him to as well.
There's no doubt. He's a true two-way guy. We talk about that. Folks will have to watch our pitcher breakdown for 2024. We talked about him as a pitcher in a big way. But, yeah, he's just, once in a while, these dudes who are just naturally the best athlete in the class or something like that, sometimes these guys come around, and it's all we can do to just kind of watch it unfold, watch them develop, and that's what he is. He's one of the best athletes in the country. We see it via multiple sports that he continues to play and should, because he's excellent at them. But when he gets on the baseball field, it's tons of power from the right side of the plate, probably the best bat speed in the class, just the pure bat speed. The great athlete in center field. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's already in the mid-90s on the mound like we talked about. It's power, it's speed, it's athleticism, it's physicality. He's kind of got it all. And he's a guy that, even if you've seen him play 100 times, you stop and watch that dude play just because it's fun to.
We got a chance to see the number 3 man, PJ Morlando, play at the event in Jupiter, Florida, the Worldwood Bat Association World Championships, essentially playing up, and he made an unforgettable play from right field, behind the bullpen, throwing a runner out at the plate. There's a grit and determination to this man. I got a chance to go really to get to know him deeper at Perfect Game's Junior National Showcase this past summer. Here's that conversation and feature, PJ Morlando.
This is PJ Morlando.
As soon as I stepped on the national platform, I mean, that's something that you just dream of. You're fighting for what you deserve as your spot in the country, and you're playing against kids who love and respect the game as much as you do. It's a great time to show what you have and show the scouts, of course, what your talents are. that's just an event for Warriors. That's something crazy that you don't get to experience, and that's something that's crazy that a sophomore or a freshman at that time was going up and playing against the top seniors in the country. First at bat, you see a Duke commit throwing 96 to 98 lefty, projected first-round draft pick. That's something you don't really see every day. I was a little nervous, you know, I had to own my own ground, and I just went up there and just tried to do what I do. You know, I tried to relax a little bit. It took me a game to get used to it, though, you know. Going into the second game, I was way more relaxed. I was going up there knowing what I could do. But that was in the military. He's a big push-up, sit-up, pull-up guy. He's a master sergeant in the Air Force. He was in the 20 years, moved around a lot, and that obviously impact of where I lived, who I talked to, different cultures, languages even. So I think it was the best thing that ever really happened to me. It's a good thing to look up to. Everything he did for this country, fought for our freedom. So, you know, going into school knowing that my dad fights for my freedom, I think it's a great thing to go into. I think it was awesome. It was, you know, a different childhood, and I enjoyed it. I went to a Diamond Prospect Showcase, and the guy that who runs it is kind of like a family friend, and so Lamonis and Foxhall, they're from South Carolina, so like kind of all came into like a small world type scenario, and I got in communication, and as soon as I did, it was family. They welcomed me, they wanted me, they showed that they wanted me, and then I go out and I go see the school, and I'm like, yeah, this is where I want to be. This is exactly where I want to be. 15,000 fans, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Sixth grade, we do a business type, figure out what you want to do in your future type job. You want to make a note of what's your dream job and then where you're going to be in 15 years. Obviously, I put my dream job as MLB baseball player. Where will I be? Hopefully an MLB star. So she came back and she gave me my paper. She said, it's not really realistic enough. I want you to pick something that you think that you can actually achieve. When 8th grade year, COVID hit, that's when I committed. My first note when I saw her was, hey, I just reached one of my achievements. I think my dream's coming slightly realistic now, but I appreciate whatever you had to say for my job.
So there's a maturity there, Brian. Obviously, military background with the family. There's an intensity that's hard to describe. Yet there's a maturity when you talk with him that makes him seem a couple of years older than some of his peers. Now, the baseball player, PJ, who is he?
It's a physical left-handed hitter. He looks like a power hitter when he gets off the bus. He is a power hitter. Like the compactness of the swing combined with the bat speed, it's consistently leveraged. He's a strong dude. He's going to get stronger. It's that left-handed power. And Sut, we saw, you talked about it already, that play he made in Jupiter. The strides he's made as a defender in the outfield are notable. And he's probably not a guy who's going to play center field. I think he might end up too big. But to go from, well, I don't know what this guy's going to play, to this is going to be a defensive asset in right field, along with that offensive profile, along with that makeup that you talked about. Dude's number 3 in the class for a reason. He's a really good player.
All right, so let's go down some of these other bats, and it's interesting because these next two guys right inside the top 5, to me, kind of fall into what we saw with guys ahead of them. We've seen them at 12 and 13 years old, but now they're becoming men in their strength and their physicality. And I feel that way about Michael Mullinax, the talented switch hitter, who obviously we saw kind of as a younger guy, the freckles, he comes at you with his family at a PG event. He doesn't look like that anymore. He's strong, he's physical, and now he's moved way up your list.
Yeah, and that jump in strength is kind of the one singular reason. You know, there's a lot of things that go into it, but you could point to that as the best example. There's a dude who's always been super twitchy. We know that. He's always been able to move. He's always been quick. He's always been able to run. He's always made a ton of contact from both sides of the plate. Well, now he's doing that with some oomph behind it. He's driving balls into the gap. He looks more physical. As he's gotten stronger, he's gotten even faster. This is a guy who was an excellent player at a young age. We knew it. We saw it. Make no mistake about that. But as we expect players to continue evolving as they get older, he has done that. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten more physical, and he looks great. He's a different player now.
Cade Arrambide the same way, still catching and catching a lot of innings. He's a Jay Johnson LSU commit. He's a Texan, but going to LSU. How has he grown?
Yeah, just he's a guy who's always been a super advanced defender behind the plate side. We saw that at 13U or whatever it was, and a guy whose game has developed along with that. Some guys who are really good defenders for the 13 and 14U level outgrow it, or they do something else, or whatever it is as they go along. Arrambide is one of those players who has continued to develop as a catcher, as a defender in general. The lateral agility, the athleticism, as he's gotten bigger and stronger, he's been able to maintain that. The arm strength continues to develop, the bat speed at the plate, along with that overall offensive impact. Just a guy who every box we've wanted him to check throughout his development, he keeps checking them. And he'll have another list to check next summer too, but a guy we're definitely betting on.
I'm gonna rapid fire shortstops. I want to be respectful of them though, because they're all very different players from different parts of the country. But when we go 7 through 9, we see Bryce Rainer out of Southern California, great program, Harvard Westlake, left-handed hitting middle infielder. Who's Bryce?
Yeah, he's a two-way guy, left-handed hitting middle infielder, like you said, Sut. There's a lot of people in SoCal who will tell you that they really like him on the mound too. When he's pitching, he looks great, big, lots of feel for the breaking ball at a younger age, lots of arm strength, lots of talent in general. But the left-handed swing, you got to see power coming there as he continues to mature. He's a good athlete. The arm plays from shortstop, like lots of tools at his disposal.
Another shortstop. We're going to go from LA area to Poughkeepsie, New York, and talk about another shortstop, Owen Paino.
He's a little bit bigger than Rainer, just in terms of the now strength, like the now physicality. You can kind of see that in the offensive performance. There's a lot of power there, a lot of unlockable power even moving forward. Kind of a more so than super twitchy. He's that smooth defender at shortstop that kind of just makes every play, even if he doesn't do a backflip while he's doing it or something like that. But just a really well-rounded player who's got size. He hits left-handed. We talked about that. He's kind of performed all along the way. But we are talking about two different players there in Rainer and Paino. Now we're going to talk about an even different one at number 9. But a glut of unique, very differently abled but very good shortstops here.
And the aforementioned man you're speaking of, we watched Bryce Clavon for several years. He was a select festival athlete. Running into him at the Junior National Showcase, spending time, he finds it very important to kind of re-grab everyone's attention. He realizes, he's been on that list for quite some time. He hopes that this year is his biggest jump ever.
Just talked about Paino being one of those guys who's kind of smoother than he is ultra twitchy. Clavon is all twitch. It's all explosive, lateral twitch where he can run really fast in a straight line. Watching him move laterally in the middle infield, watching the range he has to both sides, the quickness with he attacks balls in from the shortstop position. A lot to like there about the twitch. He's a really good runner, like we talked about. And there's a lot of feel for the barrel there, too. He's a guy who makes a lot of contact. As he continues to get stronger, we want to see that contact become more impactful. And that means simply what it sounds like, hitting the ball harder, hitting the ball farther, et cetera, et cetera. But lots of boxes checked there with Clavon, but it starts with that twitch. Man, is he a twitchy player. It's fun to watch.
So it's also fun to watch these, as we talked about earlier, these younger men grow into men athletically. And Erik Parker is one of those. We saw him in the heart of the pandemic at the 2020 13U Select Festival in Oklahoma City, and he was certainly worth turning your head to watch. The next year, 14U Select Festival in 2021. He's now playing as the number 26 overall player in the country, and this talented, gifted middle infielder is now this much taller and this much broader in the shoulders, and I bumped into him at Perfect Games Junior National Showcase. Let's check in with Erik Parker.
I love the game since I was really young. Love the game a lot. A very tough player, very creative player. A little angry sometimes, but a dog.
I asked Erik, so when I bump into you in 10 years, I said, hopefully I'll be in the MLB playing for my favorite team, having a beautiful wife and 2 amazing little boys that also have a love for baseball.
I like his vision.
My parents, they pushed me really good, really hard. They just pushed me, so I just kept going, kept thriving. So they just pushed me to the point where I just kept loving the game, kept going, just never stopped. Fielding was always there a little bit, but I think my hitting very improved over the years. Before I used all upper body, but now I'm more on my legs. My lower half is amazing now, so that got way much better. When I have a good low, my back hip stays intact. I load back real smoothly. When my foot is down, that's amazing. And then when my swing, when I make contact to the ball, I like use my extension. My arms extend fully through, which gives me more power. It's a game changer. A lot of power being pushed through the ball, and it goes hard and far. Running is mainly about like technique. It's all on like the legs, the quads, your hips. I was sitting like 6'7" before I came here, so I was shooting at least 6'6", but for me to like come out there and run 6'5" was amazing. It was kind of shocking, but it was also amazing. I got 2 more years in high school, so that time they improved to like a 6'3", possibly 6'3", 6'4".
A liner well struck could be trouble in it. A home run for Ryan Spikes.
Perfect game alone. Ryan Spikes is kind of my best friend. That's my dog. Ever since I came in as a freshman, he's been there for me ever since. Hits with me, throws with me, throws with me. He's my friend for sure. My dog. I'm proud of what he's doing right now.
Anderson to right, well hit. Tim Anderson, a 3-run shot.
White Sox. Anderson is my favorite player. He's a good guy for my community, and I like to see how he thrives in the future. And I just look up to him. I like that for my community and my culture. And that's really good to see how they're like thriving, as I am too. Sky's the limit for him and me, so I'm proud.
Yeah, Brian, I'm just telling you right now, like it's funny because you see that, you know, that big build, that excited. I don't scout, don't know how to, but I can't imagine as you guys see the body go like this and the shoulders go like that, it's got to excite you when you watch Erik Parker play.
Absolutely. You know, this is a guy who's already got it figured out as far as being a defender goes, a guy who's really, really good at that. The glove work, the feet, sort of the angles, the preparation for playing shortstop, all of those things, he checks those boxes. The arm strength's good too, but as, you know, like you said, Sud, as he gets taller, as he gets broader, as he gets stronger, now all of a sudden the profile can take on a little bit of a different look. Now you can project more power than maybe you would have a year ago. And anytime you can add more power to someone's profile, that profile is going to skyrocket. That's just the name of the game today. So would watch for Parker to have just a monster spring and into the summer circuit. He's a guy we're really excited to keep following.
Whether it be the Canadian Premier Baseball League or the Toronto, the Ontario Blue Jays up in the Toronto area, when we see those teams come and play at PG events, Brendan Lawson is a Florida commit coming through that exact same Naylor-type pipeline, and he's on your list of guys that could really rise this year in 2023.
Yeah, he's unique. These Canadian guys, they have that option of taking an extra year at the end of their secondary schooling because they start school a year earlier than American kids. So they all graduate high school at 17, and then they have that option for a gap year. They call it their victory lap year, which I think is excellent. But Lawson is a guy who is eligible for the 2023 draft, but as far as college recruiting goes, is 2024 and may opt to just not be in the draft in 2023 anyways. Lots up in the air there. Doesn't really matter. The focal point here is we're talking about him as a player. It's huge bat speed from the left side of the plate, lots of power. I've seen that guy lose balls 400 plus feet, pull side, left-handed. He's a good athlete. I think he's probably more third base than shortstop long-term, especially as he continues filling out. But we're talking about a dude who can defend the left side of the infield and really, really hit for power from the left side of the plate. And just kind of all over that one since the first time I saw him.
I think one of my favorite things in doing this show, you help me selfishly get to know these players when I'm embedded with them in this big All-American year. And one of the guys that I wasn't as well aware of is Dante Nori. And when you sent his name over, I researched, and all I saw was just 3 digits, 618, 60. Outfielder, out of Michigan. My goodness, this Mississippi State commit, I'm sure he can hit too, but who is he as the whole package?
He's a ball of explosive twitch, I guess is the best way I could put it. He's extremely strong. We've talked about, you know, like, how strong is Max Clark? You know, like guy we see him moving weight he probably shouldn't be moving on social media. Dante Nori might be that guy in 2024. Like, this guy's posting deadlifts in the 500s and ridiculous stuff like that. But he's so strong, and that natural athleticism goes with that strength, and that's what you see, those explosive, like 80 grade run times. He'll turn in 80 grade times down the line too. He's a left-handed hitter. The strength plays. He hits baseballs hard. Want to see him loft balls a little bit more this year. I think there's more home run power in there than we might think. Plays center field, playing with Canes National this summer. I would expect a big year from him. He's like I said, man, an explosive ball of twitch, and he's fun to watch.
Brian taught me how to say Okemos, Michigan properly, and I want to be very respectful of the good folks where Caleb Bonemer plays his baseball as well. He's a Virginia commit. He played in Jupiter, had 4 hits that he stacked up, reached base a couple of additional times there, and he's jumped onto that list as a mover.
Yeah, this is a guy who we've seen since he was 14. Saw him when he was a rising freshman at a showcase in Chicago, just kind of a one-off deal, and really impressed me, really liked the swing and the bat-to-ball skills and this, that, and the other thing. And fast forward, I think he's one of the more kind of underrated, sneaky hit tool guys in the country. This guy rakes everywhere he goes. He's coming into power as he's getting more physical. There's a lot of doubles now where there used to be a lot of singles, and I would expect there to continue to be more and more home runs that come out of that. Just a really innate, natural feel for the barrel with a gorgeous swing. He missed some time, was kind of only able to DH because of a little bit of an injury situation, expecting him to be fully healthy heading into the spring. And when that happens and the spring his feet get underneath him and he's playing shortstop again, watch out for him next summer. He's ranked in the 150s right now. I would place a fair wager that he'll be higher than that once a year from now when we're talking. But dude who can really, really hit, and he has peripheral tools too.
Brian, thanks for making us smarter about the 24 bats. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Sud. Happy New Year. Happy holidays, everybody watching. We'll see you next year.
Yeah, cheers to everyone out there. We love talking about this content. And if you want to learn more about it, maybe dive deeper into the rankings, visit perfectgame.org and find some subscription options too. You can dive deep into the rankings, the scouting reports, who these athletes are. It's cool too. If you think about the 24 class, wonderful, but you can go back in time, take a look at who Bobby Witt was when he was a high schooler in Texas. It's just a wonderful site, perfectgame.org. And if you're watching this content, we want to make sure that if you caught us on the website, you download the app, because on any of your smart devices 24/7, we're devoted to amateur diamond sports right here on perfectgame.tv. He's Brian Sakowski, and his scouting makes us much smarter about the game of baseball. My name is Darren Sutton. We'll see you soon at a ballpark. Take care.